We welcome you to MetLife Stadium. It's week 11. New York Giants have won their last 3. Green Bay Packers have lost their last 2. Kenny Albert with Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. The Giants won the toss, will receive. Mason Crosby will get things started. Michael Cox back deep for the Giants. Jarrell Jernigan fumbled the opening kickoff last week against Oakland, so it is Cox back deep. And he will not have an opportunity for a return, so Eli Manning and the Giants will start from their own 20-yard line.
And this has been the topic of conversation all season long for Giants fans is what is wrong with Eli Manning. And I think a lot of it goes back to the offensive line, the lack of a running game. Two good friends of any quarterback at any level. Andre Brown last week was a huge plus for this Giants offense.
You know what, Daryl, I like this Giants defense. I think they're getting better, and I like the run game with Andre Brown, but you know, this team is only going to go as far as Eli Manning takes him. You talk about confidence. He needs to find some confidence in himself and his receivers today.
Brown in the backfield, rushed for 115 yards in a win over the Raiders. And on first down, he is met initially by M.D. Jennings. So a loss of 3 yards on the Giants' first play from scrimmage.
And I really think one of the things that you can look at as an improvement is the play of this group right here. They've started together for the last 5 weeks. They're starting to gel. You saw the production in the run game last week. You're going to put that together with some good pass protection today against some big bodies up front and some good edge rushers from the Packers.
Hey, poker. 180, 100.
On 2nd and 13, Manning looking to throw for the first time. He dumps it off to Brown. And Andre Brown races up the sidelines to the 29-yard line. Forced out of bounds by Brad Jones, a gain of 12. So it will be 3rd down and 1 for the Giants against this 18th-ranked Packers defense.
And it's going to be tough running the football. Those are 3 big bodies up front in that defensive line for the Green Bay Packers. Clay Matthews back, doesn't have that big club on today. A little bit smaller device out there to protect that thumb. And a late scratch today, inactive. Sam Shields, starting cornerback. Devon House gets the start for the Packers.
Giants send in James Brewer as an extra blocker. Penalty markers prior to the snap.
This Packers defense is loading up that defensive line.
Well, they really loaded up here because they had 12 men on the field.
First down.
Short yardage situation, defensive lineman Mike Daniels coming in, but nobody came off.
So the Giants pick up the first down via penalty. Now from the 34-yard line. 3 wide receivers set. Brown lined up to the right of Manning. Manning fakes the handoff to Brown and hits Victor Cruz. Takes it out to the 47. Brought down by Micah Hyde. Cruz gains 13 and another first down.
Victor Cruz is going to be working across the formation, and here's something that you haven't seen the Giants have some success with is their play action. If the run game's not going well, that means the linebackers really don't have to honor it that much. They're worried about that passing game, but they step up. Victor Cruz comes in right behind him.
55, dead. Hey, 4 down, 55.
Tight end set. Bear Pasco shifts into the backfield. From the 46, the delayed handoff to Brown. And it's Brad Jones once again. First Packer to make contact, so Andre Brown loses a yard. 2nd and 11 upcoming.
Very difficult for Clay Matthews last week. If you saw that big wrap that he had on him, we'll show you a picture of that. You see last week on the left, and he's a guy, when you play linebacker on the end of the line, you need your hands. They're important to grab a hold of jerseys, use your swim moves and everything, and it was very difficult for Clay Matthews playing that position last week with that protective device.
He missed the prior 4 games, returned last week against Philadelphia. 2nd down and 11. It's Cruz once again. Vermont Williams brings him down, gain of 3. Victor Cruz, the Giants' leading receiver, Second reception today, 52 on the season.
But when you face an offense, there's going to be one person on the outside in that passing game that you're going to want to take away. Victor Cruz is going to be that guy for the New York Giants, so they're going to try and move him throughout the formation today in the slot, outside, left and right, trying to keep him away from those double teams. All the way here at the top of your screen now. Last snap, he was in the slot working.
Third down and 8 from the shotgun. Manning under pressure, moving to his right. There is a flag. Manning picks up a first down and more. Slides at the Packers' 35-yard line. But we will check in with referee Terry McCauley.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Offense number 72. 15-yard penalty, third down.
That's on the rookie right tackle, Justin Pugh.
Well, if you watch the Green Bay's defensive line, they only rush forward. They get a lot of pressure up in Eli's face. Eli does a nice job of escaping, but they can't have these penalties. They got to block him one-on-one. I'm not surprised at all, Darryl, by the pressure that the Green Bay Packers are trying to bring in Eli's face.
No, that's one of the things that Dom Capers is very, very good at is getting pressure to the quarterback. And as you pointed out, Tony, he'll blitz a lot, but, and all of a sudden they're having success with just 4. It's going to be tough on this Giants offense.
So the 16-yard scramble by Manning negated on the face mask, and now it's Jernigan on third down and 23. So the Giants, who picked up a first down via penalty, but then lost one via penalty. Giants will punt it away.
And here's going to be an interesting thing this week. Steve Weatherford had a tough day last week punting the football. So not as much wind here this afternoon as there was last week, but this is one of the things that Tom Coughlin wanted to see some improvement in.
And as you see, Giants have had 3 punts returned for touchdowns this season, 3 of the 9 in the lead. Micah Hyde lets it go. But the Giants unable to keep it out of the end zone. Ryan Mundy attempted to.
He needs a little bit more on that to get that ball out there. Let's take a look at it. Hyde does a nice job of selling it like it's going to be short. He's got to throw it over his head, but it lands back in the end zone.
So here comes Scott Tolzien to replace the injured Seneca Wallace last week. 3rd season out of Wisconsin. Tolzien making his first NFL start.
Yeah, and you can't get a bigger vote of confidence from your head coach than to be named the starter for next week in the post-game press conference. That's exactly what Mike McCarthy did for Scott Tolzien.
Eddie Lacy in the backfield takes the handoff from Tolzien and stumbles forward out to the 23-yard line. So it will be 2nd down and 7 as we check out the Packers offense.
Yeah, one of the big stories for the Packers has been the running game. Marshall Newhouse will get the start. Don Barclay inactive today. Has been this running game, and if you're going to have a season where the running game kind of kicks into high gear, a perfect time when you're having some injuries at the quarterback spot.
On 2nd and 7, it's Lacy again, and it's the former Packer Cullen Jenkins, who won a Super Bowl with Green Bay back in 2010, was able to bring down Lacy.
That's one way you go and can stop Lacy. Go and get penetration. See it right here. You get him in the backfield before he makes his cut. That's the pressure that this Giants defensive line wants to put on this team.
Again, the Packers having issues. 12 men in the huddle.
Offense, 12 men in the huddle. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Green Bay had 12 men on the field defensively, and now 12 men in the huddle on offense. But no number 12, Aaron Rodgers.
They just keep trying to sneak an extra guy on there, Kenny.
There's Rodgers. He can only watch. 3rd down and 12 for Green Bay. They must get to the 30 for a first. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. 3rd down and 12 for the Green Bay Packers. Tolzien's pass is caught by Jordy Nelson. There is a flag at the end of the play. Did not pick up enough for a first down. It's against the Packers.
Pass interference, offense, number 89. Penalties decline, 4th down.
That is the 3rd Green Bay penalty. So the Packers will punt it away. Pass interference call on James Jones. Tim Mastang waiting back at his 8-yard line. Ruben Randall is back deep for the Giants. From the 26, breaks 1 tackle. Out across the 40 and still going. Into Packers territory. Finally down at the 43-yard line. A 51-yard punt. And then a season-long 32-yard return by Randall. Eli and the Giants offense next. Giants have won their last 3 games after starting the season 0-6. Tremendous field position for Eli Manning and the Giants offense following the big punt return by Randall. 2 tight end set from the 42. Manning fires downfield. He's looking for Bear Pasco. It was Clay Matthews on the coverage. No flags.
Not expecting Bear Pasco to be your deep threat here in the offense, working against Clay Matthews, number 86. Releases off the line. Clay Matthews playing from a trail position the whole time. Bear Pasco had a step on him for the big play.
And now 2nd and 10. Cruz split to the left. Hakeem Nicks to the right. Now Cruz shifts into the backfield. Play action. Manning moving to his right. There is a flag. And Manning is out of bounds at the 39 after gaining 3.
Holding, offense number 77. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the left guard, Kevin Booth.
When you're struggling offensively, one of the things you can't do is put yourself in bad down and distance situations with penalties. Big penalty on Justin Pugh on that opening drive. Here's another one on Kevin Booth here.
So the Giants have already committed more penalties than they did last week. Only 1 against Oakland. And there have been 11 plays run in this game on both sides. 5 flags. Now 2nd down and 20. 3 receivers set. Quick release, and it's the tight end Myers to the Packers 37. Brandon Myers gains 15.
And this is a matchup that I think Eli wants to take an eye on, keep an eye on during the course of the game. Brandon Myers, you see the free release right there, kind of gets right up that seam with not any pressure. Now you've got all these wide receivers across the formation. Brandon Myers had a great year last year with the Oakland Raiders, some big numbers. His coach, Mike Pope, one of the best tight end coaches in the NFL. So wait to have him have some bigger numbers during the course of the year.
3rd down and 5.
41, 55.
Play clock winding down. Giants get the snap away, and Manning hands it off to Andre Brown as the Giants keep it on the ground, and Brown picks up a 1st down on 3rd and 5. Brown able to gain 10.
One of the things that Eli talked to us about on Friday was, we may have to run the ball in some 3rd and medium and 3rd and longer situations because of what Dom Capers does defensively. And there's an example right there with a nice audible at the line of scrimmage to the run play.
Andre Brown returned last week. Suffered his 2nd broken leg in under a year during the preseason. Brown replaced by Brandon Jacobs, the fullback John Connor in as well. This is Jacobs, who's back in the lineup after missing the last 3 games. A Packer helmet went flying, belonging to A.J. Hawk. Jacobs able to gain 2.
Yeah, with John Connor as your leader at the fullback position, we could have a couple of helmets coming off. I mean, this guy is as good a lead blocker as there is in the NFL right now. He's going to deliver a blow to his man on a blocking assignment. He had A.J. Hawk on that last play.
Yeah, just a low center of gravity, goes, puts that shoulder pad right in, and he loves when you hit.
You ever knock any linebackers' helmets off,
I
Darryl?
could never get them off like John's been able to do.
Come on, yes you have.
Now the Giants empty the backfield. Brown split wide to the right on 2nd and 8. As Manning fires middle of the field, and it's Ruben Randle who takes it in for a touchdown.
Eli has looked very comfortable in the pocket at the start of the game today. This is a nice job of just stepping up a little bit. The pressure comes from the outside. You move up into the pocket, and this has been the Achilles heel for the Packers defense this year. A couple of really big plays last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they start off with a big pass play for a touchdown here today.
Josh Brown adds the extra point. 6th touchdown of the season for the second-year receiver out of LSU. Manning starts the game 6 for 7. Back at MetLife Stadium, Giants lead the Packers 7-0. Well, Randall set it up with the Giants' longest punt return of the season, and then he was on the receiving end of the throw from Eli Manning. 26-yard touchdown reception for Ruben Randall. Green Bay Packers will start from their own 20-yard line as the Giants celebrate. This lead 7-0 late first quarter here at MetLife Stadium. Scott Tolzien, the 3rd different starting quarterback for the Packers the last 3 games. Aaron Rodgers, Seneca Wallace, and now Tolzien. The previous 340 games, Brett Favre, Rodgers, and 2 starts for Matt Flynn. And this is the first time, guys, in the last 3 that the Packers starting quarterback makes it to their 2nd series. Tolzien hands it off to Lacy. And Lacy gains 4 out to the 24-yard line. Linval Joseph made the tackle.
You know, when you look at Scott Tolzien coming in last week, as Kenny said about with Seneca Wallace on the first series, you know, when you come in as a backup quarterback and you really don't have to think as much, you prepared a little bit mentally, when you commit to a game, there's a lot less pressure than there is when the coach goes and puts your name out there as you're the starting quarterback and you got to work all week. There's a lot more pressure on Scott Tolzien this week than there was last.
And Mike McCarthy named him the starter immediately following the win over Philadelphia last Sunday. Goose Lacy out to the 26, so it will be 3rd down and 4. Well, where has Scott Tolzien come from? Grew up in Illinois, graduated from high school 2006, then it was on to the University of Wisconsin. Was not drafted, signed with the Chargers as a free agent, cut. Then the 49ers bring him in. He was 3rd string behind Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick the last 2 years. Was in camp with San Francisco this season, and then signed with the Packers in early September. 4 wide receivers for Green Bay, 3rd down and 4. Tolzien throws. The pass was deflected and then nearly intercepted. James Jones, the intended receiver. Will Hill thought he had it. Packers will punt it away.
An opportunity for an interception for the New York Giants. Watch your outside receiver at the top of the screen. James Jones working that slant route. Some good contact out there, a little bit high. And you see the opportunity for the interception right there. Had it for a second, got it trapped on the back of the legs.
So Tim Mastay out to punt for the 2nd time. 32-yard return by Randall. And this time he calls for the fair catch at the 22. Tolzien taking a hard hit. 7-0 Giants. Early scores around the National Football League. Eagles end their 10-game losing streak at home, now in first place in the NFC East. Good news for the Packers. Steelers come from behind to beat the Lions, and the Bears trailing the Ravens. A weather delay in Chicago of nearly 2 hours. Here's Andre Brown on 1st down. Gains 3 out to the 25-yard line.
You look at some of those early scores, and it just seems to get harder and harder every week to make any type of prediction on what's going to happen in the standings. Some very surprising. I mean, Tampa Bay back-to-back wins, big win against Atlanta today.
They got a lot of confidence after that almost win in Seattle. Now, the game that we had, I mean, they came out, they believe in themselves. That's a dangerous situation, playing a team like that.
Bucks have now won back-to-back games. Second down and 7. Cruz in the slot, 3 wide receivers for the Giants. And it's Brown who thought about running before he made the catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Took his eyes off the ball. Stick with your fundamentals. Look at all the way in. Just a little bit careless.
Only the second incompletion for Manning. He is 6 for 8. He has spread the ball around to 5 different receivers. Third down and 7. 3 wide receivers set. Cruz in the slot. Giants must get to the 32-yard line. And they do. It's Victor Cruz again. First down and more into Packers territory. Wrapped up by 3 Packers. They can't bring him down. A 30-yard pass play.
Now, this is a good job of vision by Brandon Myers. The Packers are going to overload this side. Watch, you're going to have 3 blitzers coming. You sit back to sift everything, and right at the last second, you're able to get a hand on to prevent that blitzer from getting to Eli Manning.
You talked about it, Darryl. That offensive line doing a good job so far, giving Eli plenty of time in that pocket to look for receivers downfield.
And Clay Matthews with that hand wrap had a hard time tackling Victor Cruz. He gained some extra yardage. Now Manning swings it out. It is the fullback Connor. He was met immediately by Brad Jones. Packers couldn't bring Cruz down on the previous play, and now Connor, tough for the Packers to get him to the ground.
Yeah, well, he doesn't get a lot of touches, so once he gets the ball in his hand, he's not going to go down without a fight. And one of the things I'm seeing from the Packers, and this was a point of emphasis during the course of the week by Mike McCarthy, is wrapping up. And opportunities to get this defense off the field the last couple of games, especially in the fourth quarter, and they were tackling poorly. So at the start of this game, tackling much better than they have the last couple of weeks.
They did some extra tackling drills this week up in Green Bay. Again, Brown unable to make the catch off his left hand.
And what a difference from Clay Matthews not having to wear that big protective device last week. Number 52 at the end of the line right here, working up the field. You turn him loose. All quarterbacks would like to have their receivers out in the route so they can drop it off to him. That's the second one with Andre Brown, a little bit careless. I mean, he's got to get up and get 2 hands on that ball. That's definitely a catchable ball.
As the last opportunity was as well for Brown. Third down and 10. Giants must get to the 35. Manning rolling right. Now he throws. The catch is made by Cruz, but he stopped a yard short. Nice tackle. We talked about the Packers and their tackling. Micah Hyde holds Cruz to a gain of 9. He needed 10, and now what will Tom Coughlin do? It looks like he will leave the offense out on the field.
Yeah, you're right in that area where it's a difficult decision for that field goal. It would be about a 53-yarder from this point. You're 4th and short right now. If you do have confidence in this offensive line, let's show them that you do have that belief early on.
Giants send in an extra blocker, number 73, James Brewer. Jacobs in the backfield along with the fullback Connor. And this is Brandon Jacobs who picks up a first down on 4th and 1. It's Jacobs who re-signed with the Giants early this season. Their story at the running back position has been well documented. 6 different starters due to injuries, and Jacobs picks up the first.
And good patience on this run, because you do have a little bit of penetration by the Green Bay Packers, and he didn't commit right away to where he wanted to go, then was able to slide a little bit to his left as that running lane opened up.
Jacobs remains in after Brown had trouble on those 2 passes from Eli Manning. Here's Jacobs again. Cuts to the outside, and he's taken down. Another nice tackle. This time it is Tramon Williams as time winds down in this first quarter here at MetLife Stadium, with the Giants out to a 7-0 lead. Eli Manning hitting Ruben Randle, 26-yard touchdown pass after the big punt return by Randle. We will return after these messages from your local Fox station. Giants lead the Packers 7-0 as we start the second quarter. This is the third straight year the Giants and Packers are meeting here at MetLife Stadium. Giants put up 31 points in the first half against Green Bay last year. Tom Coughlin told us we had terrific execution. When will it come together for us this year? There is a lot more out there. And Manning on the first play of the second quarter was looking for Victor Cruz, so 3rd down and 10 upcoming for the Giants.
Yeah, really, for the first time this game, a lot of pressure right into Eli's face immediately that impacted that throw.
Giants went for it on 4th down. A couple of moments ago, Brandon Jacobs picked up the first, so this is the 10th play of the drive. Only the 8th 10-play drive for the Giants this season, fewest in the league. Manning on 3rd and 10. And Myers will be tackled just short by M.D. Jennings. So another 4th down decision, and Coughlin will send out the field goal unit.
Yeah, that offensive line doing a nice job. Watch the middle of the field. A.J. Hawk comes free right there, but they do a nice job of picking up the 2 linebackers, crisscrossing right over the center. And Eli does a nice job of getting the ball out. Working good together so far, Darryl. You talked about it before the game.
Yeah, you can see the improvement from week to week, especially in that running game last week against Oakland.
Here's Brown from the right hash, a 40-yard attempt. Weatherford places it down. And the kick by Josh Brown is just inside the right upright. So the Giants extend their lead over the Packers to 10-0. Mike McCarthy's Packers ran only 6 plays in the first quarter, did not pick up a first down.
And, you know, this is one of the areas, too, they've struggled all season long is kickoff return. And we had the Packers earlier this year, and Mike McCarthy said, you know, we'll just get number 12 the ball at the 20. Well, you don't have number 12 right now, so with an opportunity to return the kick, they've got to get more productivity out of the kickoff return unit.
Packers ranked last in the league in that department. Here's Micah Hyde on the return. And he will not make it to the 20. Mark Herzlich, the special teams tackle. Good start for the Giants. Look to make it 4 in a row. Lead the Packers by 10. 10-0 lead for the Giants here at MetLife Stadium. Packers will start from their 18-yard line. 3 and out twice. No first downs, 2 punts. James Starks in the backfield as Colzine's pass could not be handled by Jordy Nelson. So Scott Colzine making his first NFL start for the injured Aaron Rodgers and Seneca Wallace. Green Bay looking to get something going here on offense.
Yeah, well, you saw the first 2 series were 3 and outs, and Tony made the point that maybe coming off the bench, you're not thinking so much with all the preparation this week. How does that impact you? But we sat down with Scott Colzine last night. I didn't think it impacted him at all. I thought he was in good spirits. You know, even threw a little jab at Tony, you know, to start off the meeting. So I think we know about his work ethic. We know how prepared he is, and just needs to get some success here early.
Colzine on 2nd down, complete to Nelson. So there is the first Packers first down of this game, a 25-yard connection.
And I thought it was impressive for Mike McCarthy to say, you know, we feel comfortable with Scott Colzine open to our entire playbook. You know, that's impressive for a guy. He wasn't with you in training camp. He came here in week 1. He's been cramming to learn this offense, doing things on his own, even while he was on the practice squad, to get to the point where you feel comfortable allowing him, you know, access to the entire playbook.
From the 43, off the fake to Starks. Colzine going deep. It is James Jones who makes the catch inside the Giants' 15-yard line, down at the 12, a 45-yard connection.
There we go. You know, the first 2 series you're coming out, you're trying to establish the run. Now you're just coming out here in the 3rd series and throwing the ball. Good release off the line of scrimmage by James Jones. He's got inside leverage against Prince Amukamara, and Scott Tolzien puts it right in the exact place he needed to.
You know, we talked about confidence with Eli Manning. Scott Tolzien looks like he's gaining some confidence in this series right here with 2 nice plays downfield.
Back-to-back plays, 25 yards to Nelson and 45 to Jones. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Starks. Not much going up against this Giants defense now that has allowed only 1 touchdown over the last 15 quarters, and that was scored by the Raiders with a short field on their first drive last week.
Yeah, and you come in thinking you should be able to establish the run because it's been one of the things you've done best all year long for the Green Bay Packers. But this Giants defense, they've shut down Adrian Peterson. They've shut down LaShawn McCoy. They are very, very good against the run.
Giants defensive coordinator Perry Fewell. Starks remains in the backfield, bunch formation to the left. On 2nd and 10, Starks tries to bounce it to the outside, but he loses yardage. Jason Pierre-Paul with the initial pressure, and then Jaquan Williams with the tackle, a loss of a yard.
I would have stayed with the hot hand with Scott Tolzien, Tony. He's come out throwing 2 big passes, you know, to get you down into this position, and it's run for nothing at all. And you know, Green Bay has had mighty struggles this year once they've gotten into the red zone.
3rd down and 11. Tolzien throws, and it is Jared Boykin who makes the catch at the 6, but well shy of a 1st down, so the Packers will send out the field goal unit.
Giants do a nice job of slowing down the momentum by this Packers offense.
It really hasn't mattered who's been at the controls of this offense this season, Aaron Rodgers, Seneca Wallace, or Scott Tolzien. They've struggled once they've gotten into the red zone.
So here's Mason Crosby, who missed a pair of field goals last week. A 24-yard chip shot. So 70 yards on back-to-back plays, but then the Giants defense holds the Packers to 3 and not 7. Aaron Rodgers wearing a headset, helping out, listening into the conversation. A couple of nice throws by Scott Tolzien. And the Packers drive 76 yards on 7 plays. Matt Flynn in the picture as well, re-signed by the Packers this week to back up Scott Tolzien today.
Yeah, critical to have Aaron Rodgers here with you. It means so much more when it comes from somebody who's been out on that football field trying to run this offense as well.
Michael Cox on the return for the Giants, and what an effort on special teams by Chris Banjo. So the Giants will start from their 11. Well, victims of the typhoon in the Philippines urgently need your help. With your support, the American Red Cross is distributing relief items, repairing and rebuilding shelters, providing health care, clean water, and sanitation. To help victims of the typhoon, please donate to the Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund today. Visit redcross.org or text typhoon to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Eli Manning and the Giants start from their 11-yard line. Andre Brown in the backfield, 3 receivers set. Handing off the play fake, throws, and it's Randall. Ruben Randall, who has the Giants touchdown, picks up a first as we check in for a game break with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, 13 different Saints have scored a touchdown from scrimmage this season. The latest being Josh Hill from Drew Brees. 3-yard score put them up 7-0 over the Niners in the 2nd quarter. Any moose and goose?
All right, thanks, Kurt. The Saints know that Carolina Panthers are just 1 game out in the NFC South, and they will meet twice in December, New Orleans and Carolina. 1st and 10 from the 23. And there is a flag thrown on Tramon Williams. Hakeem Nicks, the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 38. Automatic 1st down.
Morgan at the top of the screen. Playing off right there, the break on the ball arriving way early. I don't know what Tramon Williams is upset with the call.
That was the 4th time he has been flagged for pass interference this season. From the 31 on first down, it's Brown. And Andre Brown picks up another Giants first down. Out to the 43, a gain of 12.
He's a sneaky physical runner, and when you watch the game last week against Oakland, you know, there was really nothing pretty about it. Just a lot of long, hard runs, you know, that 6, 7, 8-yard variety, very similar to this one. He's got a great center of gravity. Watch the spin here, keeps his legs moving at the end of the run.
That offensive line, Darryl, you talked about it earlier. They're doing a really good job of neutralizing this defensive line for the Green Bay Packers. No pass rush. They're not getting off their blocks for the run.
On the screen, it's Jernigan into Packers territory. Jarrell Jernigan to the Green Bay 44. Another Giants first down. Jernigan picks up 13.
That was a nice job by David Deal, your right guard, getting out there, being the leader on a block on a quick screen to the outside. Watch him come out here, get in front of this and lead it. Now, a lot of times you get in position, but you don't make contact. It was a good job by David Deal coming to balance and being able to get a good block on M.D. Jennings.
Just having him go out there, the size of David Deal, man, he's intimidating, man.
From the Packers 44, it's Brown. Brown throws a stiff arm to the face of Brad Jones. And Brown takes it all the way down to the Green Bay 37, a gain of 7.
That was one of the nicest stiff arms I've seen in a long time, Darryl.
Yeah, that was a couple of them. He had one early on, and then he rode the one against Brad Jones right here.
Yeah, I mean, he goes. Brad Jones has a lock on him, but he's not giving up, man. Extending that arm and keeping it going. Look at his feet. Keep moving upfield. Keeps getting... Oh, he might have got away with a little bit of a face mask right there.
Could have maybe got either one of them a little bit there.
Brad.
Since
little fighting going on.
We'll just call it a tie and let him play.
Exactly.
All setting grabs with the face mask. Second down and 3. Giants stay with the hot hand. It's Brown. Brown down to the 35-yard line. So the Giants now facing third down and 1.
The big thing that this running game has been able to do is get them in favorable down and distance situations, especially on third down for the New York Giants offense. Kevin Gilbride, it opens up that entire playbook when you're into those situations. Early in the year when they couldn't run the football and they had trouble with protection, they're having the turnovers. They're getting into a lot of, not just third and mediums, but third and longs.
Jacobs in the backfield, third down and 1. Now Pascal shifts into the backfield. Manning looking to throw. Good protection. Fires downfield for Cruz. And the ball is wrestled away by Devon House.
Eli Manning misses one here. He's got Victor Cruz behind coverage, and this ball is underthrown. Victor Cruz working on Devon House. A little stutter right there. He's got him. That ball has to be out on top, and that throw almost allows Devon House to come back and make the interception. Good battle by Victor Cruz to make sure that's incomplete.
Now the field goal unit started out onto the field. Then the offense came back out, and now the Giants will use a timeout to think about it.
Almost identical to the position they were at earlier in the first quarter when they had that 4th and short, also right around that 35-yard line area. That makes it a 53-yard field goal. If you miss, you're going to give Green Bay the ball at the spot of the kick. So very good field position if you miss that field goal. So this is that area of the field that's very difficult for head coaches.
You know, Devon House, after that play, looks like he got a little banged up. Walking around, a little bit limping. He's talking to one of the trainers right now. There he is.
And remember, because he was starting for the injured Sam Shields, so a bit of a depleted secondary for the Packers.
Keep an eye on him, Kenny, for you. And I wonder if Eli Manning knows that he's out also.
Oh, yeah.
a lot of times, you know, the coaches aren't really giving you a play in the helmet. They're saying, listen, they got another guy down. Let's go right at him.
4th down and 1. It is Jacobs. And Brandon Jacobs able to convert on 4th and 1 for the second time in this game.
You know, Brandon Jacobs, he is running like a man possessed. He does a nice job. Watch him right here. You'll see him come into the picture from your left. Does a nice job of going, keeping his pads over his knees. Knows he's going to have contact and driving his legs. See his legs right here. Watch at the end of this play. Burnett's right on top of him, and he keeps driving, knowing that he's got to get 1 yard. That's a great job by a big man, running like a big man.
That was Mike Neal in the hole. That's 6'3", 285 in the hole. That was a heck of a job by Brandon Jacobs finishing that run.
So a new set of downs for the Giants. It's Cruz. Victor Cruz close to another first down to the Packers' 23.
But, you know, the funny thing was, as the Giants are getting ready for this game, they go back and they watch last year's Packers game, as you mentioned, Kenny. And the one thing that Tom Coughlin said is we were so efficient, all three phases working together, you know, wondering when we're going to hit that stride again. We just haven't been that efficient during the course of this season. They're coming out here today, and it has been similar to what you saw on film last year against the Packers.
On 2nd and 1, it's Brown up the middle. And Brown still going. Finally down at the Packers' 14-yard line.
And all these running backs here for the New York Giants.
Also getting that hand down, too. Tremendous balance. And I thought he was down a couple of times here as well.
Andre Brown, nice vision. Little move right there. Puts his hand down. Balance. Gets another 2, 3, almost 4 yards with that.
Brown averaging 5 yards per carry. From the Packers' 14. Manning to the end zone, looking for Hakeem Nicks, who has not scored a touchdown this season. He has not reached the end zone in his last 12 games.
And that's amazing to me, that Hakeem Nicks does not have a touchdown catch this season. Working against Tramon Williams right here. It's that little fade. Good coverage by Tramon Williams. Ball out of bounds, but I'm shocked that he does not have a touchdown this season. Always been such a big play threat. And, you know, that has been one of the adjustments with this offense. The big play has been dialed back a little bit as they sort through some of the protection issues and trying to get that running game going. It's going to impact Hakeem Nicks.
On 2nd and 10, Matthews deflected that pass. It's been caught by Randall. But he loses yardage after the deflection by Clay Matthews.
You wonder how much more comfortable it is for Clay Matthews not having that cumbersome brace, that protective brace that he had last week.
Looks like a completely different player.
He really does.
Yeah.
It had to be so frustrating for him.
It was more position that he was doing last week. This week he's getting involved. His eyes are in the backfield. He's rushing the passer. A lot more confidence with that new brace that he has on.
Now 3rd down and 11. Manning throws on 3rd down, and it is picked off by Tramon Williams. Pass was intended for Louis Murphy Jr., and it is Williams with the pick, still on his feet. And now down at the 21-yard line. That is the 17th interception thrown by Eli Manning this season, most in the league. The diving pick by Williams. Welcome back. Giants lead the Packers 10-3. All turnovers are reviewed, and it has been ruled that this ball did not touch the ground. It's an interception for Tramon Williams, only the 4th by the Packers defense this season. The Giants turn it over in the red zone, and now Scott Tolzien hands off to Eddie Lacy, who gains just 1. Cullen Jenkins, the tackle.
Well, you know, everybody at home, you know, oh my gosh, Eli Manning throws another interception, you know, 17 on the year now. This is on Louis Murphy Jr. He declares that he's running a hitch. He stops right there. Ball is going to come off Eli's hand as he breaks to the inside. That is on Louis Murphy Jr., and that's one of the things we've seen throughout the season. In this offense, there is the ability to adjust at the top of the route, and the wide receiver and Eli Manning sometimes have not been on the same page, but that was all on Louis Murphy Jr.
2nd down and 9 off the fake to Lacy. Tolzien fires, and the catch is made for a first down and more by the tight end, Brandon Bostic. He takes it out to the 48-yard line. Another big play, 26 yards, and Bostic remains down.
He took a big hit on the catch. Was able to break the tackle and continue downfield, but watch the hit.
Will Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Will Hill could have wrapped him up right there if he just didn't hit him with his shoulder, if he had his hands open, and he could have made the tackle. I think Will Hill felt a little bit of that too, Darryl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big collision right there. And you got John Beeson coming from behind, adding a little bit of oomph to it.
This defense has completely turned around since Sean Beason's back. I mean, he came into the, into the linebacking crew, and they're playing completely different. He's the difference maker, I think, on this defense.
Well, you always talk about having the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary all coordinated. And I think the communication, between he and Andrew Roll has really been a huge plus.
From the 48-yard line, it's Lacy. We talked about what this Giants defense has been able to do recently. They've allowed only one touchdown the last 15 quarters. On the left, the first 6 games, all losses. On the right, the last 3. And it really coincides with the arrival of Beeson, making his 5th start for the Giants today after coming over from Carolina. 3-time Pro Bowler. 2-minute warning here at MetLife.
I can't imagine how frustrating it's been for Eli Manning at times this season. He takes a lot of the blame. He never complains about things, Tony. And we've seen him in this position several times throughout his career. He just kind of puts the nose to the grindstone and keeps working.
Don't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low. Stay right in the middle.
Oh, he is the king of even keel.
Absolutely.
Why his nickname is easy. On 2nd and 9, Lacy into Giants territory.
They are determined to try to go and run in the middle of this Giants defense. This is not working right now.
But you have to. I think it's a part of their offense now. You know, when you don't have Randall Cobb and you don't have Aaron Rodgers, you have to look at different things to keep your offense out there on the field. The running game has been one of those areas where it has improved. This Giants defense is very good against the run. We talked about who they've shut down. So you don't want to get too pass heavy with Scott Tolzien in there.
Packers use their first timeout. Super Bowl 48 right here at MetLife Stadium in 77 days. And you'll be able to see it on Fox. 3rd down and 6 for the Packers. Packers have not converted on 3rd down today. They must get to the 42. Pressure on Tolzien as the pass sails incomplete. And Tolzien took a hard hit, so the Packers will punt it away.
Overloading that right side, getting that pressure in there. And again, the Giants playing very, very good 3rd down defense for the 2nd week in a row. Did a nice job against Oakland last week. Here it comes, little twist to the outside. It's Justin Tuck, really. That just gets that speed around the outside. Will Hill meets him at the quarterback.
Ruben Randall had a big 32-yard punt return earlier. Giants have struggled on special teams this year, but that punt return set up the Giants' touchdown. What's coming up, Kurt Menefee, on the Visa Halftime Report?
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll get you caught up on an action-packed Sunday. Nick Foles had the Eagles soaring for their 3rd straight win. The Bengals stay perched atop the AFC North, plus Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Hey, Terry always said he wanted his own plane.
The guys have been preoccupied out in L.A.
Looks like Christmas came early for Terry Bradshaw.
Looks like fun.
You have a birthday? Should that be a birthday present? Give me a birthday around here, doesn't it?
It's Terry's birthday every day. Giants start from the 13, 1:18 on the clock. 2nd quarter, Giants have 2 timeouts. Manning picked off in the red zone of the Giants last series. And this pass is intended for Brandon Myers. Jarrett Bush getting a hand on it.
Yeah, good tight coverage by Jarrett Bush on that. Getting a horizontal stretch across the field, kind of all your receivers about the same depth spread out across the field. Good coverage across the board by the Packers.
On 2nd and 10. Escapes from pressure and slides down at the 16-yard line. And now a timeout is taken by Green Bay.
Second charge timeout.
Mike McCarthy
Green Bay.
stopping the clock with 1:03 remaining in this first half. Fox tonight, the next evolution of cop drama is here. Don't miss the groundbreaking show that has critics raving. Almost Human. The two-night premiere starts tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Packers did not pick up a first down in the first quarter, but Green Bay able to move the football in the second. Third down and 7 for the Giants. They must get to the 24-yard line for a first. Hakeem Nicks makes the catch, but another nice tackle by Tramon Williams, who had the interception of Manning earlier. And now the Packers will use their final timeout. They stop the clock with 55 seconds remaining and will get the ball back.
Yeah, for the most part here in the first half, Green Bay doing a good job of not allowing those yards after the catch. Definitely a point of emphasis after a couple of rough fourth quarters against the Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, the Giants also, Darryl, really haven't been pushing the ball downfield. We just haven't seen Eli taking a lot of shots, you know, like we have in the past with this Giant team.
Micah Hyde back deep for the Packers. Rookie out of Iowa. .55 seconds remaining, first half. Giants lead by 7. Packers will get the ball with no timeouts remaining. Hyde takes it at the 24. Good kick by Weatherford. Return out to the 37, so a 13-yard return, a 56-yard punt. Weatherford had a 59-yard kick earlier into the end zone, so a net of 39, and now a terrific punt. So Scott Tolzien in his first NFL start, you see his numbers, and 3 of those 5 completions were for at least 20 yards.
Yeah, Tony, we'll get an opportunity here in this 2-minute situation to see, you know, maybe some of that theory where you think, you know, he's just out there now, he's just playing the game, kind of like the situation he came into last week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Keep in mind the Packers will also get the ball to start the second half. From the 37 on first down, pressure from JPP. Pass is caught by Boykin. He takes Amukamara with him all the way out to the 46 for a gain of 9.
But that was good leverage by Prince Amukamara by forcing Jared Boykin back inside. No timeouts. That clock is going to run. Don't allow him to get out of bounds.
Packers need to go about 20 yards to get into range for a possible field goal if they're able to stop the clock. And here's Jordy Nelson, but he stays inbound. He does pick up the first. Clock continues to run. No timeouts remaining for Green Bay. Nelson to the Giants 39. And now Tolzien will spike it. And Mike McCarthy will send out the field goal unit here for what would be a 57-yard attempt. Crosby's career long and the franchise record is 58.
Well, during warm-ups, Crosby's was hitting 57, 58. So I've seen him do this during warm-ups. We'll see what he does here.
Not much wind at all. So a 57-yard attempt from the right hash. Bastay places it down, and Crosby's kick from 57 yards out is good. Wow.
That was good from 60 plus.
60 plus, yeah, exactly.
1 yard shy of the franchise record. Mason Crosby from 57. So the Giants lead by 4. Visa halftime report upcoming. And set for the second half here at MetLife Stadium. Giants leading the Packers by the score of 10-6. And Darryl, you look at these two quarterbacks on one side, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP On the other side, Scott Tolzien making his first career start.
Yeah, we'll give the first quarter to Eli Manning. The Giants came out, were very efficient, but kind of slowed down there in the second quarter. Scott Tolzien hits a couple of big passes, starts to get into a rhythm. I like that drive at the end of the half to get the field goal. So let's see what happens here in the second half. But Scott Tolzien showing us that this stage is not too big for him.
Spent the last 2 years with the 49ers, learning under Jim Harbaugh and Alex Smith. Colin Kaepernick, first start in the NFL today. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Packers will get the ball first here in the second half. Micah Hyde back deep for Green Bay. Packers will start from the 20. By the way, that field goal, Mason Crosby connecting from 57 on the last play of the first half. Longest field goal in history against the New York Giants.
I tell you what, it was good from a lot further out than 57, too.
About 10 more yards out, probably.
Boy, he struck that thing.
Absolutely. You know, I got a chance to talk to Coach Coughlin coming out, asked him what he had, told his team. He's really concerned. He wants to go and keep that run game going. He thinks it's helping the pass play. You know, with Eli, he says our main concern is being consistent on special teams and our defense keep the pressure on this Green Bay offense and don't give them anything they haven't earned.
All right, thanks, Goose. Here's Eddie Lacy, and this Giants defense has now gone 16 quarters, having allowed just one touchdown, and that came with a short field. They have not allowed a second half touchdown in the last 4 games.
You know, a lot of people are going to look at the quarterbacks that they've played during that stretch. You go back, it's Josh Freeman in Minnesota with Hurts' first start. You had Michael Vick at the beginning of the Eagles game, but Matt Barkley came in. Terrell Pryor last week nicked up with that MCL, and now Scott Tolzien. But this, don't take anything away from this Giants defense. They have played well over the last month.
On 2nd and 7, it's Lacy again, and coming up to make the tackle is Prince Amukamara.
I'll tell you what, Darryl, they played great against this run game right here, not letting anything happen. Watch how they just go down the line of scrimmage. Everyone stays in their gap. There's nowhere for Eddie Lacy to go and run and get started. And that's one guy. He looks like a fullback with a tailback number on that you do not want to have get started.
Yeah, and if you're going to be able to have success defending the run on those stretch types of plays, you're going to have some help from your corners. Good tackle by Prince Amukamara.
3rd down and 8. Packers must get to the 30 for a first down as Tolzien airs it out, and the catch is made by Jordy Nelson. A spectacular catch for a Packers first down in Giants territory, a 29-yard pass play.
It seems like every week Jordy Nelson makes a catch that you're just like, wow. Watch this one. Watch how late he extends to get that. He catches the back half of the football. That is tremendous. I thought it was overthrown, watching it come down on the trajectory where Jordy Nelson was. I didn't think he had a chance of getting that.
I thought the same thing. Terrell Thomas had good coverage on that play.
Nelson with a 25-yard reception earlier, and now a 29-yard pickup. Here's Lacy, and it's Amukamara again, who hits Lacy for a loss of a yard.
Nobody blocked him, Goose. They had 2 guys come down inside. I think one of those guys has to be outside for Prince Amukamara.
Nice job of going and tackling in an open field like that, staying low, wrapping up the legs.
There's Andre Brown getting stretched out on the Giants sideline. A couple of nice tackles by Amukamara. Giants still without their other starting corner, Corey Webster, today. Off the play fake. Tolzien throws, and it is intercepted by John Beeson. And Beeson will not go down, takes it to midfield.
He went out of control there on that run back down. They couldn't get him down for anything.
They're trying to strike the ball the whole time.
His first pick as a Giants. Terrific starting field position for the Giants following the interception by that man. Receiving a hug on the sidelines, John Beeson, his 10th career pick. First as a Giant. Giants start from midfield. We saw Brown getting stretched out moments ago. He is in the backfield, lined up to the left of Eli Manning, who steps up, now throws, and it is Nix. who makes the catch. A 35-yard connection. Eli Manning to Hakeem Nicks.
I don't know how you get that open with 3 Packer defenders in the area. You would think somebody would be playing tighter coverage against Nicks. Coming from the outside, going up vertical. They're all chasing Victor Cruz. You've got Tramon Williams and Morgan Burnett that bump into each other. Coverage error right there.
Biggest play of the day for the Giants on offense. From the Packers 15. This is Brown to the outside. Looks to turn the corner. And he is down inside the 12-yard line. It's Tramon Williams who makes the tackle. A gain of 4 for Andre Brown as the Giants look to capitalize on the Green Bay turnover.
I was very surprised. You know, we've talked about the tackling, the wrapping up by the Packers defense, but one of the other areas was the big plays that happened to them last week against Philadelphia. That's another point of emphasis during your preparation, and I don't understand how Hakeem Nicks gets that open in that situation.
Second down and 6. Quick throw to the outside for Nicks. And it's Williams again. That's his 8th tackle. Tramon Williams, who also had an interception earlier. He was a high school teammate of the Giants, Brandon Jacobs, and he makes the tackle on Nicks.
Well, they definitely got the message about wrapping up and not allowing yards after the catch, and there's the wrap right there. We've seen a couple instances here today. Tony talked about it where guys are just coming in and trying to throw that shoulder for the big hit, but Green Bay has really done a nice job of wrapping up the ball carrier, taking away his legs.
3rd down and 5 for the Giants. Giants 0 for their last 5 on 3rd down. Manning over the top. So the Giants forced to send out the field goal unit.
And we've got a mix-up here by the New York Giants. You've got Andre Brown and Victor Cruz right in the same area. So one of the two guys making a mistake. Can see Eli Manning going to the side a little bit frustrated here.
Yeah, especially on that last play, Hakeem Nicks on the outside there.
Yeah, well, he's telling him, you got to keep coming through. You can't settle down there. I've already got one of my guys settling down. I think Victor Cruz was supposed to hook up. Andre Brown was supposed to keep coming. Josh
Brown from 28 from the right hash. He connected from 40 earlier. Brown is now 2 for 2. Giants lead by 7. Don Beeson has meant so much to the Giants defense over the last month. His interception leads to the Josh Brown field goal.
It was a great job, too. He steps up on the play fake, and he reads the eyes of Scott Tolzien, drops right into that throwing lane for the interception, and showed some good moves there after he had the ball.
Yeah, it was nice. 3 or 4 cuts.
Micah Hyde will take it out from 6 yards deep. Hyde out to the 23. There is a flag. Antrell Roll made the tackle on special teams, one of the leaders of the Giants defense.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 57. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on Jamari Lattimore. Time for a game break with Joel Klatt. Joel.
Guys, they are still at it in Chicago. A game that started 5 hours ago featured the hour and 53-minute delay. Justin Tucker ties it up at 20, and Baltimore and Chicago are going to overtime. Ravens receive the kick. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Second of a twin bill at Wrigley. Tied at 20 as they head to overtime. And the Packers obviously have their eyes on that one. The Lions have already lost. Steelers in come-from-behind fashion. So Detroit 6-4. Chicago at 5-4. Green Bay at 5-4. Bears and Ravens are in overtime. Worst starting field position of the day for the Packers. Tolzien on 1st and 10 from the 13 hits the fullback Kuhn. But Will Hill is right there to make the tackle. A gain of just 1 for John Kuhn.
You know, standing right behind Scott Tolzien right here in that offense, you know, watching him, he's got to do a better job of going and selling the fake on the play action and taking his time. It seems like he's rushing the ball, rushing for it to come out a little bit, not really making great decisions back there. He's got some other receivers he's got to look for down the field, trying to stretch this field out on this Giants defense.
In his first career start, 2nd down and 9. This is Lacy out of the backfield, and Eddie Lacy picks up a first down out to the 29-yard line.
Eddie Lacy's open field mentality. Find somebody to run over.
That's one guy you do not want in your secondary, I'll tell you.
Holy smokes.
Looks like a D lineman.
Lacy suffered the concussion earlier this season, but since coming back over the last 6 games, he's the leading rusher in the entire league.
Yeah, I've been surprised by his breakaway speed. We've seen a couple long runs from him.
3 receivers set from the 30. This is Lacy. Spun around by Jaquan Williams, and a good second effort out to the 35. So Lacy gaining 5 more yards. Rookie out of Alabama, 2nd-round pick, NFL Rookie of the Month in October.
Yeah, you watch him on film and you expect the power runs. He's got a great spin move there at the end, very similar to what we've seen from Andre Brown today. They've got great centers of gravity as they're going down the field, but Eddie Lacy has impressed me on film with some of his breakaway speeds on his long runs.
2nd down and 5. Tolzien, and a nice catch is made by the tight end who grew up in the area, Andrew Quarles, who was born in Brooklyn and attended high school on Long Island. Quarles gains 19.
Yeah, really nice athleticism here by Andrew Quarles. Look at that. I mean, not only catching it with one hand, catching it, securing it, and then right to the tuck.
And then running afterwards. I mean, he goes and gets another 10 yards, it looks like, on that outside. Just keeps his feet moving.
Quarles put up some big numbers at Penn State. Suffered a season-ending injury here at MetLife Stadium 2 years ago. Missed all of last season. Now Tolzien looking for James Jones, who did not have a drop heading into this game all season long.
Yeah, there's the first one of the season for James Jones.
Yeah, take a look at Justin Tuck right here. This guy just comes with everything he has. Right on the corner, bull rush. Forces Tolzien to get it out, I think, before he wanted to.
Now, the tough thing with Justin Tuck, Tony, he switches from speed to power. You've got to respect his ability to get around that corner, and when he turns and just drops on you, that's tough.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10. Tolzien to Jordy Nelson, but Tremaine McBride able to slow him down, couldn't make the tackle. And then Nelson out of bounds at the 47, loses a yard.
I like a little nastiness right there, Darryl.
Yeah.
I like the, Jordy Nelson, after he catches the ball, he's sort of got like a little chip on his shoulder. He's letting him know, hey, listen, man, you're not going to go and tackle me. You got to bring more than one guy. I like the attitude he brings to the game.
Fans on their feet, 3rd down and 12. Packers must get to the 36 for a first. As Tolzien fires, Packers wanted a flag. Pass was intended for James Jones.
Yeah, just a little incidental contact there. You get your feet tangled up coming in on the in route. James Jones coming from the outside. You'll watch Jordy Nelson clear down the seam. You're going to run that little in route in behind him, and we're just going to click heels a little bit right there. Both guys stumbling. Good no call by the officials.
So Tim Mastay waiting back at his 37-yard line. Ruben Randall is back deep for the Giants. There was contact on Mastay, and a flag is thrown. Will it be running into or roughing the kicker?
Looks like it's just going to be running into. He didn't give a personal foul signal.
Which will be a 5-yard
selling
penalty.
It's all about selling it right here. Let's take a look. He does a 360.
Terry McCauley chatting with Mike McCarthy.
Running in the kicker, defense number 18. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it's a running into the kicker. There's Lewis Murphy Jr., 5-yard penalty. If it had been a roughing the kicker personal foul, Packers would have maintained possession of the football with a first down. So Mastay will set up one more time. On 4th down and 7. Randall with a 32-yard return earlier. And it's a fake. Looks to be close. Empty Jennings on the fake. It will depend on the spot. So the Packers getting a second opportunity following the running into the kicker penalty. M.D. Jennings close to our yellow line, which is unofficial. Here come the chains. Giants football. Jennings stopped just short. Nice tackle by Spencer Paysinger. 7-point lead for the Giants, who take over at the 37. That's special teams coach Tom Quinn on the right. Some positive news for the Giants on special teams today. A 32-yard punt return. They stopped the Packers on a fake punt attempt. Here's Andre Brown, and he is wrapped up by Brad Jones.
Yeah, right now they are surpassing the bar that Tom Coughlin set for him. Just don't have a colossal mistake. And
that's right.
Not real difficult for the Giants special teams, the way things have been going for them this season. But hey, they've done a nice job today. You pointed out, Kenny, that punt return leads to their first touchdown. And you know what? I like the call by Mike McCarthy, but great awareness by the punt team, the punt return team of the Giants. Well done.
And a nice tackle by Spencer Paysinger, stopping M.D. Jennings just shy of a first down. Now on 2nd and 12, Victor Cruz out to the 43-yard line for a gain of 8. So it will be 3rd down and 4 for Eli Manning and the Giants.
Trying to get back into that rhythm, Tony, that we saw in the first quarter. They just,
Yeah, they're trying. Hey, by the way, Daryl, you or Kenny, who's the comedian that put the pinwheels on my setup down here at halftime?
no, they were there pregame. I saw them pregame in the win.
No. What are these things here? These little win things?
No, they were there early.
I agree.
My man cave over here.
Yep, I noticed them before the game as well. 3rd down and 4. As Manning airs it out, and the catch is made by Cruz. In between 2 defenders, Hyde and Burnett. It's the 7th reception for Victor Cruz today, and he gains 25 yards.
That was double coverage right there, Daryl.
Well, we've got another, long completion, Tony, but watch, we've got 3 defenders. Micah Hyde on the release is in the trail position. He went to talk to the official. I don't know what he was talking about. There was a nice little rub on the release, but there was no contact. It didn't impact Micah Hyde to keep coverage on Victor Cruz.
So a new set of downs for the Giants from the Green Bay 32. Manning to the fullback, Connor. It's Jones who makes the tackle. John Connor gains a couple. Well, never be without football. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to download now. The New York Giants, who started the season 0-6, still very much alive in the NFC East. The Eagles beat the Redskins today, so Philadelphia now 6-5. Cowboys with a bye. They are 5-5. And a win by the Giants today would raise their record to 4-6 following the 0-6 start. 2nd down and 8. There is a flag as Cruz makes the catch for another Giants first down. Gain of 14. And it looks to be against the Packers.
Holding, defense number 52. Penalties decline. First down.
Clay Matthews right here. Yeah, almost got a penalty right there on House also. Victor Cruz did a nice job of going snatching that one out of the air.
Cruz now over 100 yards. 8 catches, 110 yards for Cruz. Here's Brown up the middle to the Packers' 13-yard line.
This is where it's critical to have your run game, because really, if you really have to rely on the passing game once you get into the red zone, the advantage tips to the defense because of the shortness of the field here. And if you can't run the ball effectively, it's really difficult for your offense to have some success. So Andre Brown down here in the red zone, going to be critical that they can get some positive yards.
Second down and 8. Manning on second down. Has time, throws, it's Brown. Out of the backfield, Micah Hyde makes the tackle. A gain of 3, so it will be 3rd and 5 from the Packers 11.
I've been impressed by Micah Hyde. We've had Green Bay a couple of times this season, and he's kind of grown into the role of the returner. Had a lot of natural instincts. I think Mike McCarthy was a little bit nervous about his inexperience, but he's gained that trust in the return game, and coming in the pass defense situation has played well each time we've seen him.
And again, the Packers without their starting right corner, Sam Shields, today. Under 2 minutes remaining, third quarter. 3rd down and 5 for the Giants. Manning over the top, and it's a first down. Brandon Myers to the Green Bay 3.
I'll tell you what, the whole middle of the field was wide open for Eli Manning just to look downfield. The defensive lineman left the 2 or 3 guys uncovered right over the middle.
Yeah, everybody's going to blitz on this one, Tony. You've got Brandon Myers right there, number 83. Jared Bush goes outside. M.D. Jennings is late getting down to make that stop.
Yeah, Brandon Myers just had to sit down right there in the hole.
That's the second time we've seen that play in the red zone today by the Giants.
1st and goal from the Green Bay 3. This is Brown, who scored a touchdown in his last 6 games. And he fights his way toward the goal line and is down just short.
I don't know how this happened, because I thought one of the Packer defenders had his legs wrapped up and actually picked them up off the ground.
Yeah, but there was no whistle. I'm standing right behind the goalpost, not even 10 yards behind him. No whistle at all.
He did that with one leg, Tony.
Yeah, finally went down to the ground.
Now Jacobs checks in. James Brewer, an extra blocker. 10th play of the drive for the Giants. On 2nd and goal, it's Jacobs, and he's in for a Giants touchdown.
Little role reversal here. Last year it was Andre Brown who was the goal line specialist. Ahmad Bradshaw would work all the way down the field, get it in close, and then he'd step in to get the touchdown. Now it's Brandon Jacobs getting to do the fun stuff and score the touchdown.
His 4th this season. He extends his franchise record. That is his 60th career rushing touchdown, more than any other Giant in the long and storied history of this organization. A 10-play drive. Jacobs in. Giants by 14. Brandon Jacobs with the Giants touchdown. 10-play, 63-yard drive. And for Brandon Jacobs, as we mentioned, he extends his franchise record, 60 career rushing touchdowns. Micah Hyde takes it out. And Hyde is stopped shy of the 20 at the 16-yard line. The Giants running backs embrace. Late 3rd quarter here at MetLife Stadium. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, New York Giants with a 20-6 lead over the Green Bay Packers, starting their 3rd different quarterback the last 3 games. Aaron Rodgers knocked out early 2 weeks ago against Chicago. Then Seneca Wallace injured on the first series last week against Philadelphia. Scott Tolzien, first career start. And he fires, and the catch is made by Jordy Nelson. Will Hill comes up to make the tackle. 18 yards from Tolzien to Nelson as time winds down in this 3rd quarter, with the Giants leading by 2 touchdowns. The NFL on Fox will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Giants led 10-0 early in the second quarter. Packers kicked a couple of field goals. It's now 20-6. Both Giants touchdowns set up by their special teams. A long punt return and then a stop on a fake field goal attempt. To start the fourth quarter, play action. Tolzien fires downfield with a catch is made by Boykin. So Jared Boykin takes it all the way down to the Giants' 13-yard line. It is a 52-yard connection.
I tell you what, no more short passes for Scott Tolzien. Let's just get guys running down the field. That's his 5th one today, his 5th explosive play today in the passing game.
You give him time, boy, he finds those receivers downfield.
He's had completions of 25, 26, 29, 45, and now 52 yards. From the Giants' 13. On first down, it's Lacy. Looks to cut it back inside. For the Giants' 9. Time for a game break with Joel Klatt. Joel.
Kenny, it's finally over in Chicago. Robbie Gould, 38 yards for the win, and it's good. The Bears keep pace with Detroit. They're 6-4, and the Super Bowl champs fall to 4-6. Back to New York, Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, Joel. So now the Packers will try and keep pace with both the Lions and the Bears, both at 6-4. Green Bay at 5-4.
Yeah, huge possession right here. They cannot kick a field goal. They've been really struggling in the red zone.
Second down and 7, rolling to his right, now looking left. It's John Kuhn. Kuhn showing some nice footwork, and he takes it down inside the Giants' 4-yard line.
Oh, he didn't trust his offensive lineman.
Yeah, he should have brought it to the outside.
Yeah, Josh Sitton comes out. Watch number 71 right here. He's going to get out, and he's going to be there in position to block. He wraps all the way around. John Kuhn just needs to spin to the outside. Hey, let me get back inside and find somebody to run into.
I want to get hit.
You think he'll hear about it during film session?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Third down and 1. This is Lacy. Lacy has a first down and a touchdown.
You want to talk about just driving yourself right into the end zone. Woof. I'll tell you what. I'm standing right behind him. I heard this hit. Watch Lacy go and lay the wood right here. He goes and lowers his shoulder. Boom. And just keeps driving all the way into the end zone. Great job by his offensive line, too, behind pushing.
That was Cullen Jenkins, too. That's a D lineman that hit him.
Crosby the extra point. 5th touchdown run of the season for the rookie out of Alabama, Eddie Lacy. Packers to within a touchdown. Welcome back. America's Game of the Week from MetLife Stadium. The Giants lead cut to 7. Michael Cox takes it out. Cox stopped just shy of the 20 by Chris Banjo.
Take a look at the day for both of our quarterbacks. Been talking about them quite a bit. Scott Tolzien hanging in there. Eli, the big thing about Eli today, Tony, you talked about this. We've seen the deep ball back into the offense a little bit more today.
His confidence, too. I think they did a good job so far with the play calling. A lot of short plays in the beginning, then they started stretching the field. But, they got to go and get that run game going a little bit. It'll help them a little bit on the play action. You got Hakeem Nicks out there, man-to-man on his left-hand side. Cruz up on the right. I wonder if they're going to go with one of those guys right now.
Eli in trouble. Down he goes. Brad Jones with his 2nd sack of the season. The first sack of Eli Manning today.
Really nice timing by Brad Jones on the cadence of the New York Giants. Watch 59. Here he comes, coming right into your living room. Very, very difficult for Andre Brown to be able to get around Eli Manning and get to Brad Jones. Just really nice timing on the blitz.
Yeah, those offensive linemen for the Giants have got to keep their eyes on those linebackers. They're doing delayed blitzes, which is really tough for pickups.
Loss of 9 on the sack. 2nd down and 19. As Manning sets up the screen to Brown. is tackled at the 22-yard line by A.J. Hawk. He gains 12 and comes up limping.
Think all the Giants fans were holding their breath when they saw the screen pass, Kenny?
Ooh. It has been a bit of an issue this season.
It's not an easy play, but they've really struggled. Andre Brown limping off the field.
Yeah.
Brandon Jacobs back in. Giants have already lost David Wilson to injured reserve. Terrell Scott, Peyton Hillis inactive today. They've gone through 6 different starting running backs this season. 3rd down and 7. As Manning is in trouble, there is a flag. Manning down at the 14-yard line.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense, number 65. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Packers decline the penalty, so Clay Matthews and Dayton Jones, the first-round pick out of UCLA, with the sack of Eli Manning.
Well, on a critical series right here, the New York Giants give up 2 sacks. Those hands right up under that face mask. Easy call for the officials there.
So now Weatherford punting for only the 3rd time today. He's had 2 beauties, 59 and 56 yards on his first 2 punts. End over end taken at the 33 by Hyde. He breaks 1 tackle. There is a flag. 8-yard return out to the 41 by Micah Hyde. A 52-yard punt. So Weatherford bouncing back 3 punts of at least 50 yards today.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 31. 10-yard penalty. 1st down. Timeout.
That's on Devon House. Big series for the Packers defense with 2 sacks of Eli Manning. Early 4th quarter here at MetLife Stadium. Giants leading the Packers by a touchdown. Giants defense back out on the field. Scott Tolzien and the Packers reaching the end zone on their last possession. Start at their own 30. Tolzien on 1st down, intercepted, taken back by Jason Pierre-Paul for a Giants touchdown.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Not an easy guy to throw the ball over, Moose.
I tell you what, that's just tremendous athleticism.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's like caught between the hands, in stride, going the other way. That's not bounced. That's not bobbled. That is very athletic.
Jason Pierre-Paul does a nice job of just getting his eyes back on the quarterback and just going up and picking it up and going.
It was questionable, Goose, throughout the week due to the shoulder injury.
It's amazing, Kenny. On a play like that, for some reason you feel a lot better. I'm sure his shoulder isn't hurting right now.
Well, Scott Tolzien in some pretty good company. 2nd career interception, returned for a touchdown by Jason Pierre-Paul. The first last October, Tony Romo.
I tell you, we haven't called his name all game long. You know, he's got the bad shoulder. You know, was very impressive last week against Oakland prior to that injury, and then all of a sudden, gosh, what an athletic play.
Hyde takes a knee, and Jason Pierre-Paul underwent back surgery in June and admitted that for the first portion of this season did not feel like himself. And you referenced his game against Oakland last week. He said he finally felt good and then suffers the shoulder injury.
Yeah, all the way through the practice week, and then during the game, able to run around like none of that residual soreness that you have, and was really playing well against Oakland, and then had that setback, and we have not called his name. I think the only thing you can say for Scott Tolzien is you've got to understand that that's a learning experience right there. A Julius Peppers, a Jason Pierre-Paul, there's certain guys, a Jared Allen, there's certain guys that are out there that you have to be aware of where they're at, not just in their ability to get to the quarterback, but their ability to make a play like Jason Pierre-Paul just did.
Showing tremendous athleticism. Here's Lacy. Bottled up.
I'll tell you what, this defense is on fire right now. Jason Pierre-Paul, I think, just lit the fire underneath this defense. They're coming to pressure. Right now, you put the Green Bay Packers in a situation where they got to go and put the ball up to get back into this game. And that's exactly what this defensive line for the Giants wants. They want you to be one-dimensional. They want to get out there. They want to get their hand down in the ground and get upfield to get pressure on Scott Tolzien.
2nd and 10. Tolzien under pressure, gets rid of it. It's Qualis and Jaquan Williams right there to make the tackle, a loss of 2 yards.
So a lot of the talk about this improved defense, but people, naysayers will say, well, look at the competition that they played against. They haven't gone against that frontline quarterback, Terrell Pryor, coming off that knee injury, did not play today, so you knew he was not 100%, but that does not take away from what this unit has done. They have played extremely well. They've thrown up great numbers. We showed them to you earlier, just a little bit over 200 yards per game, around 11 points per game. That's phenomenal against any type of competition at the NFL level.
That lineup, the only guy they're missing is Shane Falco on that one, huh,
Daryl? Here's Tolzien, and it's complete to Jordy Nelson. Goose, of course, referencing the quarterback from the replacements. Tolzien, the replacement today for both Aaron Rodgers and Seneca Wallace. Jordy Nelson stopped a yard short. Packers will punt it away.
Way to clean it up, Kenny.
Always looking out for you, Goose.
They're the best, baby. That was an inside joke. No one's supposed to know that except for us. Now you let everybody in.
Tim Mastay waiting back at his 15-yard line. End over end kick. Randall will let it bounce out of bounds. So the Giants with 8.5 remaining in the 4th, leading by a pair of touchdowns. Giants back on offense from their own 30. It's been defense and special teams. 2 Giants interceptions have led to 10 points. Here's Brown. Brown out to the 36-yard line. And the Giants with some big plays on special teams, which have led to a couple of their touchdowns as well. Well, Dallas should be 5-5. Eagles go to 6-5 with their win today over Washington. Giants looking to win their 4th straight game.
Dallas will take that victory.
That's
They've
right.
been struggling lately. They'll take one.
Cowboys off today, and then they will play right here next weekend. It'll be the Cowboys and Giants next Sunday. Eagles will have next week off. 2nd down and 4. Here is Brown. Stays on his feet and picks up a Giants 1st down. Midway through this 4th quarter, Kurt Menefee, take it away.
Well, Seattle's Marshawn Lynch had already run for 2 touchdowns. Now he catches one from Russell Wilson. His 3rd score of the day, a little flip there. They lead it right now 31-13 in firm control, ready to go to 10-1 in the 4th quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
What a season it has been for Pete Carroll's Seahawks, and how important would it be for Seattle if they finish with the best record in the NFC? Got 2 home games to try and reach MetLife Stadium on February 2nd.
And that's the battle right now. I mean, both of those play, Seattle and New Orleans battling it out for home field. 2 difficult places to play.
Hakeem Nicks into Packers territory. Yet the Saints trail the 49ers today by 3. Carolina, 1 game behind New Orleans. They will host New England tomorrow night. So a win by Seattle. If the Saints lose, Seahawks would open up a 3-game lead for #1 seed.
But getting back to the NFC East, we had the Giants and the Eagles a couple of weeks ago, and at that time the Giants were talking about ifs and buts and things that could happen, and they've been able to hold up their end of the bargain. They've been able to win all those games. They're in the lead here today. They talked about needing a little bit of help and maybe bringing Dallas back to the pack. Everything's falling into place for them to be in a great position down the stretch for the NFC East, which is amazing after that 0-6 start.
No team that has started a season 0-5 or 0-6 has ever reached the playoffs, but the Giants are right there in the mix. Should they hang on and win this game today, In fact, all they need to do is think back to the Redskins last season. Washington started 3-6, although they did not lose their first 6 games. And then ran the table. They won their last 7, won the division. Under 6 minutes to play. Giants lead by 2 touchdowns. Manning on first down. Slides. Safe at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Eli saw Hawk coming across the middle there. That was a good decision by him.
One of the things I remember Kevin Gilbride saying when we had the Giants and the Eagles a couple of weeks ago was, you know, one of the things that Eli needs to understand is sometimes the play is just over, and let's not try and force something and create that big mistake. And that's what I've seen from him today. Not saying he's a game manager out there right now, but he's kind of dialed back his aggressiveness of trying to fit a ball in tight, throwing some jump ball situations to prevent those turnovers. Because right now, the Jason Pierre-Paul play really turned the momentum in this game. I mean, you talk about the touchdown and then the stance by Green Bay's defense. The offense comes down the field ready to do something, and that play just turned this whole game.
Second down at 11, and it's Clay Matthews again getting his hand on a Manning attempt for the second time today.
That almost looked just like the Jason Pierre-Paul play. Take a look right here. Right here on the outside.
But hard to catch the ball, Goose, with that hand wrapped.
Yeah, watch Eli Manning just go and throw it up. I mean, Clay goes and gets his hands up. I mean, maybe if he didn't have that glove, he could have got that one. But got to be careful, almost like them screen plays a little bit, Darryl.
He's definitely one of those guys. You know, you got to know where they are. And if you're going to throw that type of pass, you better make sure he's not in your throwing lane.
Third down and 11. Giants must get to the 37 for a first down as Manning is sacked for the 3rd time today. It is Mike Neal who takes Manning down at the 46-yard line. And the Packers will get the ball back. Packers call timeout. They're first.
A.J. Hawk also in the middle of the field. I think Eli saw him coming. Just when that pocket started closing in. The Packers do a really nice job of going and closing that pocket up and making the quarterback feel the pressure.
3rd sack for Green Bay, all in the 4th quarter. Packers use their first timeout, stop the clock with 4:40 remaining. Rutherford has been terrific today. 3 punts, all 52 plus. Another good one. Fair catch is called for at the 16-yard line by Micah Hyde. Good job by the Green Bay defense, but they trail by 14. New York Giants looking to win their 4th straight game, leading the Green Bay Packers 27-13. Packers back to work from their 17-yard line. Colzine looking to throw, and he hits Boykin out of the 20. Earl Thomas brings him down.
Did a nice job of hanging in there, even with the pressure right in his face.
Packers quickly to the line. Second down and 6. Colzine takes off. Colzine close to a first down. Looks like he has it. Packers with 2 timeouts remaining. Colzine fires, and the catch is made by Boykin for another Green Bay first down, a gain of 11.
And I think situations like these, they're hard to simulate in practice. This is going to be the area that his preparation has really prepared him for this type of opportunity. And you have to remember the volume and the body work that he had to process in a short amount of time to be able to be effective in a situation like this.
On first down, moving to his left, he's being chased by Justin Tuck. And then he throws his body at Terrell Thomas, whose helmet goes flying.
That's a young quarterback right there, Tony.
Yeah. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? This team has already lost 2 quarterbacks. They do not want to lose another one. sure Mike McCarthy is going to have a little talk with him after that. Running around there like a young kid in this situation, huh, Darryl?
Yeah.
Now Tolzien fires, and he goes over 300 yards for the day on a completion to Jared Boykin.
I mean, he's got two big defensive linemen chasing him from behind, and he just decides to go north-south and takes on Terrell Thomas.
Now, when you go and you tuck the ball like that, you are considered a runner. So all those safety nets that they put in for quarterbacks are all gone.
Now he sets up the screen to Eddie Lacy. Lacy to the Giants' 44-yard line.
Well, whether it was the end of the first half or in this situation right here, the Giants defense has done a nice job of keeping everything in the field of play as Terrell Thomas is down on the field.
Justin Tuck has also gone to the sidelines, shaken up a couple of plays ago. And now Terrell Thomas heads off. Thomas, an amazing story, coming off his third ACL surgery, same knee all 3 times.
Unbelievable. You know, I've had both my ACLs, one reconstructed and one not. And, you know, the rehab that you got to go through, and mentally, I mean, I couldn't imagine going through 2, let alone 3. This kid is an amazing story. I tell you what, talk about adversity coming back. There's nothing more amazing than his story.
And there's Tuck on the sidelines as well as we approach the 2-minute warning. Packers get the snap away, and the pass is caught by Jones. Down to the Giants 34. So Tolzien and the Packers on the move at the 2-minute warning, but they need 2 scores.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear.
1:58 remaining, 4th quarter. Congratulations to Goose's son, Anthony. East Hanover, Florham Park, Mean Machine. Who's that guy in the middle, number 98?
Yeah, listen, I wasn't going to let them have all the fun. I decided after coaching them for 8 years that I was going to do their last practice in full pads together. So I put all my gear on and went through practice.
Huge win.
It was a good decision early, but the next day it wasn't too good.
Yeah. And they won their Super Bowl this morning, the 8th graders. Congratulations. Now Tolzien, a pump fake, and then he throws it. It's picked off by Antrel Roll. Tolzien had completed 7 straight since the Pierre Paul interception, and now Roll comes up with the pick and some extracurricular activity.
Yeah, TJ Lang and Matthias Kiwanuka really going at it right now, and they got to get these guys separated. I don't know what happened, but it got nasty. Well, it's a nice job here, you know, being able to keep your feet, but rule number 1, not into the middle of the field just with a flash of color. You're going to have a number of defenders down there, and there's a few things that Scott Tolzien would like to have back today. That has to be one of them right there. I will not fault him on the Jason Pierre-Paul interception. That's a great, that's a great athletic play, but that one there in a critical situation, you cannot just throw into the middle of the field unless you got David Tyree down there, right?
That's right. So the 3rd interception thrown by Tolzien, who has completed 22 of 30 for 318 yards today, but 3 Giant interceptions. Giants came into this game with only 8 picks all season. Now on 1st down, it is Brown. Packers have 2 timeouts remaining, and they will use one here. Paul returned an interception for a touchdown earlier in this 4th quarter, which extended the Giants' lead from 7 to 14. On 2nd down, it is Brown. Brown out to the 20, and the Packers will stop the clock once again. Green Bay using their final timeout. Following the Giants and Packers, we will take you to bonus coverage of the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Packers on the verge of losing their 3rd straight. And for the Giants, an improbable story to their season over the first 10 games. You lose the first 6, now about to win their 4th in a row, and will remain very much alive in the NFC East.
Yeah, I think early on in this streak, whether it was Minnesota or getting into the Philadelphia game, they were trying to build their confidence. I think it was shaken and trying to get that back. They've got that back now, and they're on that one game at a time approach. Everything has fallen the way they needed it to fall. Philadelphia has gotten out there on them a little bit at 6-5, but they have the first tiebreaker with them, having knocked them off earlier this season. So the Giants have done a tremendous job of bouncing back, and I really think as you listen to Antrel Rolle and John Beeson talk, I think at that time they needed to get that confidence back. They've actually split with Philly, having played twice this season already. So, you know, to me, they've put themselves in a position now to get back and approach this in a normal way. And that's an impressive accomplishment because of where they put themselves in a position at 0-6. So great job by the staff, great job by the veteran leadership on this team of not panicking and knowing the messages that needed to come out at the specific times and then adjusting them once they got to this point.
You know, they have an opportunity. They just got to grasp it.
Giants let the clock wind down. Under a minute remaining, there's special teams coach Tom Quinn. 2 big plays on special teams for the Giants. Big punt return by Ruben Randall, and then they stopped the Packers on a fake punt attempt, and both of those plays led to Giant touchdowns.
Well, you know, coming into the game, it's been such a struggle for special teams this year that the benchmark was just don't make the colossal mistake, and they've actually been positive today. And really, you know, Tom Coughlin kept talking about when are all 3 phases going to function the right way. And I think today is one of those days where it got very, very close. Steve Weatherford's bounced back. He was challenged this week by the coaching staff to punt the ball better. Special teams as a whole, defensively, they've been doing great. The Jason Pierre-Paul play, that's the difference maker in this game. I mean, all the momentum had slid to Green Bay, and that play just stole it all right back to the Giants.
So with 49 seconds remaining, low snap. Weatherford gets it away. Another booming kick. What a bounce back by Weatherford today. High took it at the 17 and is out to the 33-yard line. A 61-yard punt. So one more opportunity for Scott Tolzien, who grew up in Illinois. His entire family Chicago Bears fans, but not Scott.
No, you got to love that. The cheesehead and the old starter
Love that
right
one,
there.
love that
And,
one.
you know, the 4, Brett Favre. And, you know, during the course of this game, you know, when we were there at the top of the 4th quarter, you were wondering if we were going to see some of that Brett Favre magic from Scott Tolzien. But
And that wasn't Halloween either. That was just in a normal day. You know, you go into school every day like that, I heard.
How about this one, guys? Tolzien, 280 yards last week, 318 today. He has passed for more yards in his first 2 games as a Packer than Rodgers and Favre. Another completion for Tolzien, but he has also been picked off 3 times today. Beeson, Pierre-Paul, and Antrel Rolle.
And that's what he's going to remember. And he doesn't even, you know, he didn't even hear about Mike McCarthy naming him the starter in the post-game comments last week because he was still processing the loss to the Eagles and what he could have done better. And he's going to do the same thing today. And, you know, that last one was a tough one. And I'm sure that'll be one of the ones he goes back and focuses on.
Jordy Nelson picks up a first down and more into Giants territory. Remember, the Packers are out of timeouts. Green Bay has not lost 3 consecutive games since Aaron Rodgers' first season as a starter, 2008. Last time the Packers lost 3 straight. They will host Minnesota next Sunday, and then a short week. They'll travel to Detroit on Thanksgiving.
Couple of big divisional games. And things broke for them today. The Detroit Lions losing at Pittsburgh. Chicago able to pull it out in overtime against Baltimore. So an opportunity here to bring that NFC North back into another 3-way tie.
But they will fall short. So the Lions 6-4, Bears 6-4. Packers will drop to 5-5. There is a flag. Another flag as Tolzien runs out of bounds with 4 seconds remaining.
Offside. Defense number 91. Holding. Offense number 69. The penalty's offset. 2nd down.
So while the Packers will lose for the 3rd straight game, Giants will make it 4 consecutive wins following the 0-6 start. First team since the 2009 Tennessee Titans.
How about Eli Manning throwing together another 4-game winning streak? During the course of the seasons, he's been the starting quarterback, the only quarterback during that time to be able to have a 4-game winning streak at some point during the season each year.
This is Kuhn, and time runs out. So the New York Giants and Eli Manning, after starting the season 0-6, have won their 4th consecutive game. There's Scott Tolzien, disappointing after his first NFL start. JPP took it back for a touchdown. We'll return in a moment.